Disclaimer: any opinions, findings, and conclusions or recommendations expressed in this presentation are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the views of the University of Louisville. All right, welcome back to the Pandemic Preparedness Podcast. This is episode 2, building a strong work environment to be ready for any challenge. I'm Sheldon, here with Ingram and Trey, and today we're going to be talking about how hospital administrators can prepare structurally for the next pandemic through culture, planning, and strong employee support.
Yeah, and a lot we'll discuss today connects directly to Chapter 8.1 on organizational culture, 6.4 on planning, and 11.3 on meaningfulness at work. These concepts really help explain what managers should be doing long before the next crisis hits.
Okay, so let's start with planning. Chapter 6.4 stresses that managers have to identify weaknesses as a part of strategic planning. In hospitals, this means not ignoring issues like supply shortages, understaffing, or outdated technology.
Exactly. One of our key manager shoulds says that managers should plan for weaknesses within their organizations. COVID showed us how small problems can become huge under pressure. If administrators already know where the cracks are, they need to fix them before another pandemic exposes them.
And that's not being negative, it's being proactive. Good planning requires honesty about what's not working and preparing resources accordingly.
Chapter 8.1 talks about how culture shapes how organizations react to uncertainty. Hospitals need a culture that encourages adaptability, collaboration, and openness. That's another manager's responsibility from our outline. Managers should utilize their capability to adapt and foster healthy organizations.
Right. If the culture already supports flexibility, then during a pandemic, employees aren't shocked by rapid changes. They're ready for it. Culture becomes a foundation for resilience.
And culture also includes making sure employees understand the roles in emergency situations. One of our key points is that hospital managers should recognize that employees may not be aware of existing preparedness guidelines, so educating staff and holding training sessions has to be built into the culture.
One of the most interesting ideas from 11.3 is how powerful meaningless is for motivation. This coincides with one of our major points. Managers should make employees feel that they did something meaningful to increase capacity in units that needed support.
That matters a lot in healthcare. During crises, staff work long hours and take heavy emotional hits. If they feel like their work is valued and contributes to something bigger, they stay motivated and engaged.
And managers can reinforce this by acknowledging contributions, celebrating small wins, and communicating purposely clearly, especially in high-stress situations.
Another major responsibility is ensuring hospitals are properly equipped. Managers should ensure that hospitals have the correct equipment to make their staff jobs easier. Supplies, tools, techs. These things directly affect staff stress levels and patients' outcomes.
And that ties into our last manager should. Hospital managers should hold dedicated meetings with staff and other managers to decide on ways to further healthcare technology. These meetings helps hospitals stay ahead, whether that means better telehealth, improved communication systems, or updated electronic records.
It all comes down to this. You build resilience before the crisis, not during it. That's the core theme across all 3 chapters in the textbooks.
So to wrap up, preparing structurally for the next pandemic means a strong planning, a healthy adaptable culture, meaningful work for employees, and the right tools and technology.
As administrators who invest in these things will now create hospitals that can weather future challenges much more effectively.
Thanks for joining us on episode 2 of the Pandemic Preparedness podcast. We'll see you in episode 3, where we talk about ethics, communication, and decision-making during emergencies.